when you die, then obviously you're dead, and then
we were just talking while you were chatting. We were just talking.
Yeah.
We were thinking about consciousness and what is consciousness. I mean, I would define it as in before you're conscious of being anything, you're conscious of being, right?
Sorry, say again.
Before you're conscious of being anything, a man living in London, age, whatever, you're conscious of being. It's you're
conscious of being.
You're conscious
Being,
of
as
being.
in I am.
So
I exist.
Before you're
I am
conscious
here.
of being anything, you're conscious.
Oh yeah,
of
I
being.
am. Therefore, I exist.
Exactly. So you're
Who was that guy who said that? Philosopher.
You're conscious of being. So that sense of that essence of being, that essence of I am alive. Right?
Yeah.
Before you're conscious
Yeah, that's awareness. That's what I said.
And we were just talking about where we might think that that sense of self, where it is. And there's an idea that it could be outside of us, you know, but it's not actually within us, but it's outside of us. I mean, and then how far outside of us? It could be a metre outside of us. It could be our aura, our energy. It might not actually be inside of us. It's that sense.
Look,
that's the thing. It's a
all that is metaphysical, which we cannot have evidence for.
Precisely.
And that was.
I would see it on a
And you see, my friend, that was the whole argument I was having with this guy, because he only believes in the naturalistic world.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe, and the reason I brought in consciousness is because consciousness is such a good example for a person who doesn't believe in a metaphysical world. Yes, but yet they accept it. The reason
is the fifth one actually necessary?
because so many cameras. It's like a press conference.
Yeah, man, we're gonna go viral. How you doing?
So that is the reason I'm saying it. This is a good example. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the example of this gentleman here, Greg, yes, it's like a person who's using a metal detector in order for him to identify plastic. He's using the wrong tool. He's using the tool of science, which has limited scope for something that is metaphysical in nature.
I think it was
like your consciousness.
Fair point. That's a very fair point.
I think he was actually wrong about Einstein too, because I read once Einstein was asked about whether the universe was chaotic, and he answered, "God doesn't make mistakes." And when you've got, and I read the Stephen Hawking book, A Brief History of Time, and it's a great book, and in that they do talk about God, scientists, because when they're accepting there was a starting point of creation, they're accepting a creator, so they're accepting God.
But the definition of a creator varies from.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, God's just a word. It could be infinite.
Yeah. So his idea of God was not. So he was making the assertion that Einstein did not believe in a personal God, but a pantheistic God.
Yeah.
So in other words, he's like he's a theist. He's not an atheist. He's still a theist. If you believe in a pantheistic God, you're a theist. You're not an atheist.
God's just a word. I mean, I could replace the word God.
Yeah, there's different concepts of God. You're right.
Source energy, the universe.
Yeah.
So people get so hung up on the word God, but you know, when you're accepting that, you know, the Big Bang Theory, a starting point of creation, you are accepting a creator. The only opposing view would be if time and space always was.
Yeah,
there was no starting point. Absolutely, but they don't believe that science. Science have accepted this idea of the Big Bang Theory, so they are accepting a creator of sorts.
And when the reason he didn't bring the Big Bang Theory is that because we know that the Big Bang.
It's not being recorded anymore, is it? Or?
That's fine, yeah.
Oh, okay.
As long as you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
So the Big Bang Theory is something which is the most accepted model of the origin of the universe. Okay. The reason he actually didn't want to bring that up is because you know that it has a start, and obviously anything that is limited in scope, like the universe, it has an end as well. Because so what he did was he actually did this. He actually brought in a model which is the least accepted among the scientists, which is called the Cyclic Universe. That means it expands and collapses, for which there is no evidence. So there is no evidence that once a universe collapses, it starts a cycle again. There's no evidence. So this is just something which is it's more like a guess, at best. Yes, not even a postulation with evidence, because when you postulate a theory, you need to substantiate it. The reason many people actually bring this in is because they know that God is eternal, so they have to bring in something eternal to counter it. And what they do, they bring in the least, the least
Skeptical.
accepted model for the origin of universe, which is this cyclic universe. So anyone who has read about the cyclic universe, they would know that what entropy is something because of entropy, the cycles become bigger and bigger. Yes? And what that means is that at one point, these cycles were much smaller as you go back in time. It goes to a point where it says there was a beginning of the cycle. That means it's not eternal. So even from that perspective, yes, if he had done his homework, he would know that. He didn't even know the meaning of entropy when I asked him the first time. He said heat or something like that.
Was he a scientist?
He says he's into physics. But these are all things which you learn in basic physics.
It's a hobby, a pastime.
Whatever it is. He said he was better than Newton.
That's what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said. So this is ego. When your ego plays in, then it clouds your judgment. And this is what happens. Unfortunately, when you actually start saying things like, I'm a better scientist, or I know more than Newton. No, he wasn't. He was pretty serious about it. What he was...
It was just tongue in cheek. It was a bit...
Yeah. No, he wasn't. He was pretty serious about it. Because what he was saying is that since Newton died, we have had many discoveries. So we know a lot more things than Newton. Obviously, you would. But no one would compare Newton not being a scientist or not being a great scientist and saying, I'm better than Newton. I mean, this is just ego, if you ask me.
Yeah, but
So
from his perspective, he might be though.
he might be what?
Like from his perspective, he might be better.
Well, from his perspective, he could be like 10 feet tall, you know? That doesn't make it true.
Yeah, but that's what we consider reality. Because reality is in a way subjective. Because
Reality is not subjective. Who told you that?
in a way it is.
What do you mean in a way?
I will explain to you how it is.
Are you real for? Are you for real?
No, but there is a possibility that we could be in a simulation. But is it more probable? Probably not, because there's not really much evidence to say.
Yeah,
that
but
there is.
where is what do you mean not much evidence? There is zero evidence that you could just be a figment of my imagination.
There's a possibility. It's a
No, it's not a possibility even. How would you say, on what basis would you say there's a possibility?
Well, wouldn't you agree that all things are equally possible?
No. No, there are certain things which are observable facts. You cannot deny that.
Maybe in-
Otherwise,
do you believe in other dimensions? Do you believe in other
okay.
dimensions
Do you
or not?
believe that the Earth could be flat?
Do you believe in other dimensions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so then all the possibilities must be equally equal.
Not all the possible. What do you mean all?
I mean,
Do you think it's
Why?
possible for the Earth to be flat?
how is that relevant? to things?
You said everything is possible.
Maybe in some dimension.
So you
my
could be
point
a
is-
flat earther. I'm speaking to.
Well,
See what I mean?
If we're talking about reality... what
No,
is
you need to
what is
look.
truth?
You need to accept one thing.
Right.
There are things which are real and there are things which are unreal. Okay?
But how do you define that?
How do you
Well,
define real?
it's very simple. I mean, if you do not, then what is the point of us even talking if things are unreal?
That's the whole
But
point.
you
What is
wouldn't
real? That's the
know.
whole
You wouldn't
point.
know
What is
though.
real?
Would you know if?
Then you're far. If you guys don't even know your existence, then you are far removed from your reality
What
of
is
this
real?
world.
Define
What do you
real. What do you
Define
think is real?
Well,
real?
anything which you can perceive as
Okay.
being factual. For example,
So,
if
can
I were to ask
Can
you,
I ask you a question? Do you know of the experiment with the hand? Do you know that experiment?
Yeah.
Where they pull a
Yeah.
fake hand. Right. What you're perceiving
is a perception.
is a touch, right? But that's not even a real hand. So how is that real? How do you feel the sensation? How is that real?
How do you feel the sensation?
Yeah, if it's
Like I
not
said,
real.
it's because-
And then when you hit it with a hammer, they take their hand out.
Yeah, it's because-
because they feel the pain.
No.
Is
They
it
don't,
real
they don't
pain?
feel the
Is
pain.
that real or
No, they don't feel the pain.
Why do they-
What they do is the reason is because of because they're frightened of being hurt.
Something frightened of something unreal, so it doesn't.
Let me
Define
let me
real.
let me
How do
let me
you
tell you what.
define
If you have been indoctrinated to such an extent where you fear certain things. For example, many people fear the darkness. Yes. Just because you switch off the light, they feel afraid. Why? Because this is the way they have been indoctrinated to such an extent.
So that's an illusion?
So are you?
No, it's not an illusion. In their mind, the fear is real.
Exactly. That's the
Okay,
whole point.
wait a
It's
minute.
not real.
No, it's real. In their mind,
The
they
fear is real.
think that the fear is real. But the reality,
It's a concept. It's
exactly.
it's a
The illusion or the concept that they've created in the mind. Remember, they've created this.
So
It's not real.
is it?
They've
So
created
couldn't
this.
you have created this?
So how would you define
No.
real then?
You could
So
not
what is
have.
real?
No. If you guys if you don't know how to differentiate between reality and something which is an illusion, then you do not even exist.
Well, give us the definition of truth. Truth and reality is truth, right?
Well,
So what would be
reality is truth. Whether you believe it or not, the reality will exist. So, for example, there are many there are many people who believe that the Earth is flat. Yes, but the reality is different. Yes, we know that, unless you guys are flat earthers here. So, even though they say this is a fact, by the way, they do say it's a fact, isn't it? Those flat earthers. They say, yes, the Earth is flat, but is that real?
But see, I think.
So just because they believe something is a fact doesn't make it
You're
real.
getting too caught on the technicality. You can't.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you demonstrable
No, I'm
evidence.
with you. But I just want you to branch out, open your brain a little bit, and just open the possibility that maybe just have the conversation. You know?
My friend, if you want to branch out to where you don't know the difference between reality and unreal, then that is something that is your prerogative, not mine.
Oh no, I'm just. It's an invitation. It's simply an invitation.
If you want to have that, I know you invited me, but I reject your invitation.
That's all right.
That because I'm in touch with my reality. If you're not,
Fair
that's
enough.
a different thing.
Fair enough.
Maybe you should go see a doctor.
Maybe.
No, honestly, we have to, because
Are
you
you
see,
real? I wouldn't know.
if human beings do not understand the reality and something which is just an illusion, then you deny everything. You wouldn't be accepting anything. You would be a super skeptical individual who would never have peace of mind.
But there's got to be.
Because you'll think everything is unreal. Is my mom real? Is my dad real? Are my children real? Is my family real? You know, like, where does it end?
There's got to be a definition.
That's what I was talking about,
define
reality.
as truth.
Was that?
And how would you define
Yeah,
truth?
I mean, no.
There's got to be a definition.
yeah,
so I would
exactly.
define reality as truth. And how
No, but whose reality? Like I said, the flat earth's reality is different to yours and mine.
but it's not truth.
Yes, but that doesn't mean it's the truth.
But it's not truth.
Can I ask
To
you a
whom?
question? Do we all?
Reality and
Wait.
Okay.
Just one sec, just one sec. Just one sec. To whom is not the truth? To us or to them?
Answer me this.
So
Do we all
subjective?
experience different realities? Do we all experience different realities?
Do we all experience
Different
the
realities.
similarities in the realities?
No. Answer my question with a yes or no. Do we?
Not in everything. Not in everything.
Okay.
There are certain things, for example, if I asked you, are you a human?
But we're all playing a different
What?
movie.
You don't know you are human or not? Are you, could you be a monkey?
So it's subjective.
You could.
Who knows?
You could be.
The possibilities are endless.
Then you don't know what's a monkey. If you don't know the difference between a monkey and a human, then you got a lot. You need a lot of help, my brother.
Well, that's a good point, actually.
What's
so
that?
What is objective truth?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'll demonstrate an objective truth to you. By the way, you asked a question that our realities are different. Very good, okay? So I'll give you an example. Imagine you go to a room where the temperature is a bit cold for you. You enter the same room, but for you it's perfectly room temperature. It's not cold, not too warm, not too hot. It's just perfect for you. You both enter the same room. Now, how do I ascertain what the temperature of the room is? Any guesses?
Thermometer.
Thank you. That is the objective truth. Because the thermometer reading, regardless of what you feel or what you feel, will give me an objective. Wait.
Okay, then
will
what's
give me the
your-
objective
what-
truth and the exact measure of the temperature of the room.
What is your
Does
thermometer?
that answer your question?
What is the thermometer
Depending
that you
on how
use
it's calibrated.
to measure this? What is the thermometer?
Don't try
that
to
you-
overlook.
What is the
Overemph-
thermometer that
sorry?
What is the thermometer that you use to measure this? What gives you the objective?
Oh, you mean measure what? To measure the reality?
reality.
Well, let me
Yes.
put it this
Oh
way.
my God.
Seriously?
Seriously?
Let me put this to you. So,
Then answer my questions
there's
because
three of us.
you never answer good questions because you know it's
You
gonna
know,
humble you.
but you think your question is good.
Well, whether it's good or not, how about that?
I've already answered your question, did you not? Look, my reality, the reason, you know that thermometer, did you believe in the measurement of the thermometer?
Yes.
You did. Why is that?
But then I asked
No,
you a
wait.
question.
Why is that? Why did you believe that thermometer reading?
Because
It's a
that's
one-dimensional measure.
I didn't ask you, I'm asking him.
Oh, you're so arrogant.
Yes, I am.
Never got rid of this arrogance.
I actually want to get rid of you.
But it's not going to work.
What's the answer?
Yeah. So why did you believe the thermometer reading?
You need direction.
It's objective.
Because?
It's objective.
Why is it objective?
You tell me.
Well, you said it's objective, so tell me why it's objective.
Because you know what objective means, right?
Yeah,
And
what
then
is
I don't
it?
have to explain why it's objective.
No,
You know the
why?
definition.
Yeah, what is the objective definition in this case?
The objective definition of this case is that you measure the heat with the thermometer.
No, but why is it objective?
Because you can prove its existence.
You know why? Because it doesn't matter where you take that evidence,
independence
it is something that everyone will accept because there is no bias here in terms of your, of your subjective understanding of the temperature of the room or your, so it doesn't matter where you take it. That same, that same instrument is going to be the evidence for anyone and everyone, doesn't matter who it is. Okay? Now that's the reason it's objective. Now without you being conscious of your environment, will you be able to take that reading?
Mate, I think you're fumbling yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Answer the question.
I need to understand the question. It needs to make sense.
You don't answer
What? Your consciousness?
He has other
Which part doesn't make sense? That you being conscious to be reading?
Showtime.
Reading?
If you would just
Is that the reason you're here?
That's why I'm standing behind you.
Yeah, that's where you belong. Okay, carry on.
It's a
You're such a clown. When are you going to grow up?
But it's
I
a-
thought you might have grown up by now.
So here's a
No
question.
chance.
But why are you standing next to a clown then?
Because I enjoy entertainment. Same reason I go to circuses.
Good, so you are in a circus.
Beat that one. Well, at the moment.
Like, I'm the ringmaster,
To
so
my
you shut up.
left, yes. To my left. Yes.
I'm the ringmaster, shut up. Okay, cool, so go on.
So it's a
Okay,
question.
Yeah, go on.
It's a question. So there's five of us stood here now having a
Yeah.
conversation. But you know, we're all on the same kind of space-time continuum, right? The same kind of dimension. But we're all playing a completely different movie in our heads. You know, your belief is different to my belief. So where's the objective truth there? Who decides what the
Where's the
objective
thermometer?
truth is?
That
Where
is,
is it?
look. When you actually, when you don't even, when you are unsure about your reality, about whether you live in a real world, whether you yourself are real, then I think you're far lost and cut off from the
But
reality
you never answered
yourself.
my question. Where is the certainty? I'm sorry.
Can I just put,
Go ahead.
Let me put this.
You were pretty certain about the reading of the instrument, which is
No,
called the
actually,
thermometer,
what-
without you being
I was-
real about your own self.
What I was certain of is the uncertainty. I'm certain of the
Are
uncertainty.
you certain you exist?
Do I exist? Do you exist?
See what I
Are we
mean?
here?
So,
This guy's super skeptical.
absolutely. So,
I think he needs help.
So I could say that I could say
We all
don't
need
don't
help,
believe a
don't
word
we?
I say.
Speak for yourself.
I'm
You
coming
don't
from.
need any help.
Oh, yeah.
I
See,
could
that's
say-
the first
Not,
problem.
not in identifying
Not
between
in
the
anything.
reality
In anything.
and
In anything.
unreal.
Not admitting the problem is the first
So I
problem.
could say.
So you admit you don't even know you exist.
No, but there is a difference between a
What happened to that
collective
grin?
reality and an individual reality.
Look at the grin.
So I could.
No, no, honestly, a person
Well, I could say-
needs help seriously if they cannot differentiate
say
between
this.
the real world and something which is imaginary.
Well, let me say
because
this.
that is called psychotic
Well,
problems.
let me say this. I could say, you know, don't
Yeah.
believe a
Don't
word
let
I
me
say
stab you.
because I'm coming from my truth. I'm not representing
From his
myself as
individual
telling
experiences.
the truth, but my truth. And you would have your truth. And who's to say one is right and one is wrong? You know, we're all coming from our truth and our perspective.
What are you talking about?
what-
Which
So-
because there are,
It's a
this.
conversation, not an
saying-
argument.
Well,
It's a
hold on.
conversation.
By the way, I'm talking to him. Stop interrupting.
I think I'm saying.
Okay, go on.
The arrogance of the man.
My question is to
Jump
him,
from
not to you.
him.
So which reality
Tell him
are
off
you
when
talking
he
about?
jumps in.
I think I'm saying that.
You
Which
edit
reality are you
it
talking
so
about?
well, you don't
Because
see
that
this
gets you
when they put it
views.
out.
I think I'm saying that
What?
it can only be subjective truth. Colin.
Why?
We're all
Why is
living
truth
our own
subjective?
truths.
I just gave you the
Where's
example.
objective truth? Who's
I
right?
gave you the
What is the
example.
objective truth? What is
You
the
have your
objective
truth.
truth?
I think you're just here to joke.
Varies from person to
No, I'm
Okay.
serious.
You know,
What is the
initially I thought you were someone who was someone who is worth talking to, but now I've realized that you're not even aware that you exist or not.
So okay, so
Go find that out
I think
first.
what I'm saying is it's
Yeah.
subjective truth only. Sure.
No.
Well, who decides what
Do you remember that I gave you when you asked me about the subjective?
who's right?
How do you
Am I right
differentiate
or you
between
right?
objective truth
of course,
and subjective
on everything.
truth? I gave you the example of the thermometer. Do you believe that is subjective truth?
Well, it's objective. If it's independent.
No. Is it an objective truth? The reading of the
Well,
thermometer.
In that case,
Do as you're told.
I'd have to say yes. But what's the objective?
There you go. That's
truth
your answer
in
then.
our beliefs and our perspectives.
Okay, now you're talking about the
Who's
beliefs. See,
right?
now
Who's right
now
and
this
wrong?
is a different
Yeah, that's
a
the
different
question.
topic.
Exactly.
So there are things you will agree which are objective truths out there which we all recognize. For example, the temperature reading from a thermometer. Okay, this is an objective
So
truth.
the answer is subjective.
No.
Subjective truth.
Not every
There's no
truth is
objective.
subjective.
There's
Okay,
no objective truth.
there are truths which
You're
are
not right and I'm
which
not
are
wrong. You're
objective.
not wrong
For
either.
example, if I ask you about the shape of the earth, you're going to tell me it's flat.
You really like this.
What if I believe that?
Yeah? Would you say it's flat?
Well, I mean, my
So
beliefs
these are
different to your
so
beliefs,
these are
right?
things
So
which
who's
we
right
all
and wrong?
accept because sometimes what you see, yes, it's not. It's what's
I
that?
wanted over there.
No, we're ignoring him anyway. Don't worry.
You say we, is that the royal we?
It is, yeah. So what I'm saying,
Opposed to the royal shit.
well, that will be you, which I'm ignoring. Thank you. So what I'm saying here is that.
I'm ignoring it that
By the way, do you believe that objective truth or you don't?
Well, I guess there must be an objective.
No,
truth.
don't guess.
I
Tell
s-
me,
I
do you
see-
believe or not?
I see subjective truth everywhere.
Do you not see objective truth at all?
Well, I'll tell you what I did see the other week. I was
Okay.
watching Fox News, right? And it's
Of all the news in the world.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why I did, but I did.
Okay, go on.
But it struck me that there's no difference between Fox News and CNN. They're exactly the same. They're just kind of commentating on the world through their perspectives.
Yeah.
But who's right and who's wrong? CNN have got no right to say Fox are wrong, and Fox have got no right to say CNN are wrong. But they're both on completely opposing.
Yeah, but news can be right or wrong. We don't deny that.
It's going through their filter. It's going through their perspective. They're commentating on the world as they see it. But who's right and who's wrong?
No, but
Completely subjective.
but
surely.
there are instances
Everything has
where
to go through a
for example, if they are reporting on, say, an earthquake in Japan, both of them reporting, you cannot say who is wrong or who is right if they have video evidence for you.
Well, they come through their filter. They come through their filter.
Well, whatever it is, if you have multiple reports of an earthquake happening in Japan,
shook the
yes,
earth and we all died. Another report will say the plate tectonics stuck and juddered. And
it's not a circus. We are talking about an earthquake.
I don't think
Okay.
you can have a neutral kind of event because it's always got to go through the filter of whoever's seeing.
No, but then where do you stop?
Let me finish.
Yeah, where do you draw the line about reality and unreal?
Hold on, let me finish that because we put energy and meaning into stuff. So we're really experiencing ourselves, aren't we? Because everything has energy that we put into it. We make it something. What we make it is what it becomes. It's kind of impossible.
What do you mean
to
energy? What do you mean you
experience
put
something
energy? I don't understand.
neutral. Well, it's kind of everything you see. You put some energy and meaning into it. You make it something. It's impossible to see anything because you're telling stories about everything that happens to you. Aren't you? You look back and.
Are you saying that you do not believe anything that you see?
I'm not saying I don't believe things that I see, but I
What do you mean you're putting energy? I don't understand what you mean by that.
I create a story. We all create.
No, we are not
stories
talking about
things.
arbitrary, random things. I'm saying if you see something, for example, do you have children?
No.
Do you have parents?
Parents.
Yeah.
I think I do have parents.
I mean, are they alive? That's what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah. So if do you believe they're your parents?
From his
This has
experience,
gone
you
away
could say,
from
yeah.
the point we were just making.
No, it is because I'm telling you about objective
Seems like a
truths.
different
Wait.
conversation.
I'm telling you about objective truths. No one here will deny that they came from.
What's that?
Yeah, they came from a male and a female.
Yeah.
No one will deny that, okay? So what I'm saying is that there are certain truths which are objective, no one can deny. But if you're going to question, wait. If you're going to question each and everything that you see as being subjective.
How do you learn if you don't ask
Let me-
questions?
you asked me-
How do we learn if you don't
Did I
ask
tell you not to ask questions? But I'm
asked
asking
me
you,
about-
what I'm saying is do
said
not.
not to question
No.
anything.
When did I say don't question anything?
Believe it all. That's what you just said.
Don't be silly. I didn't say that.
You just asked.
I said do not ask silly
I wish
questions.
you
You
the
just
best of
asked,
luck.
you just
Yeah.
asked me about. You just asked me.
Don't ask silly questions that you exist or not.
You just asked me about energy and meaning, right? Let me
Next
explain.
instructions.
Let me explain what I mean by that. So
Bend down, Junior.
anything that
Put me on
happens
my
to
knees.
us.
What would you like me to do next?
Have you accepted?
Let's get down on your knees and see how you behave.
Why do you want me on my? Why are so many Muslims
Okay.
obsessed with gays?
What is it?
You want me on my knees, you filthy pig?